identical to another insect, the snowberry maggot, which is not an insect of any economic importance. So this insect then would have to be pulled off this trap and sent to the laboratory to be positively identified.
There are about 6,000 traps set up around the state. Freeman says the danger is not in commercial orchards, but in backyard apple trees.
The apple tends to be in backyard fruit situations because that's the best environment. There's not the pesticide pressure of a commercial orchard, for instance. And so when we find them, the first place we find them is in backyard fruit or untended trees.
State-sponsored spraying to get rid of the pest in affected counties will continue until early September. Eric Thompson, News 35.
In a quick return to politics, Vice President George Bush has taken a sudden interest in Washington State. The Vice President will be in Seattle Sunday. There he will hold a news conference and visit the Seafair Hydro races. And Bush may be back September 22nd to dedicate the Whoop's first nuclear power plant at Hanford. At this time, plans call for Bush to give the keynote address at that reactor's official opening. And there may be more indictments filed in connection with the handling of contracts for Whoop's nuclear power projects. The head of the FBI office in Seattle says that some new cases are already being examined before a grand jury, while still others are still in initial stages of investigation. Just last week, 2 former supply system contractors and a consultant pleaded guilty in federal court to involvement in a kickback scheme involving Whoop's contracts. Peace group members have set up camp near Richland to mark the 40th anniversary of the atomic bombing of Japan. Tomorrow, a memorial service for bombing victims will be held in front of the Richland Federal Building, where government officials oversee the manufacture of weapons-grade materials on the Hanford Reservation. A 24-year-old physical therapist from Seattle is the first one-legged woman to reach the top of Mount Rainier without the use of an artificial leg. Sarah Doherty made it to the top of the peak about 9 o'clock this morning. 4 other climbers helped her carry her gear. Doherty used special crutches to give her traction on the ice. She reached the top on the 3rd day of her climb there. And incidentally, she's reported to be elated and doing quite well. Another woman elated, doing very well, scaled a height all her own. Lou Retton, quite a stunning performance tonight in the Olympics.
Well, I tell you what, gutsy. You have to win on the final event. Last chance at Olympic gold.
Score.
You have to be perfect to do it, and she was. Tell you what, 19 gold medals up for grabs today at the Summer Games in Los Angeles, and once again, the United States pulled in most of them. We'll start early in the day. America's Mark Gorski won the men's sprint cycling race. The USA also captured the gold in the 3-day equestrian riding event. From the swimming pool, American Tracy Calkins wins the women's 200-meter individual medley. Tiffany Cohen becomes a double gold winner after her victory in the women's 800-meter freestyle. Rick Carey of the U.S. takes the 100-meter backstroke, his 2nd gold so far. And the American women win the 400-meter medley relay. The U.S. has won 18 of the swimming events. And in ladies gymnastics, how about Mary Lou Retton will show you the perfect 10 tonight at 11 o'clock to win the gold medal, our first gold ever in ladies overall gymnastics. That's some story. In Major League Baseball now, the Mariners and Oakland are in the middle of a twilight doubleheader. The A's won the opener by a final of 5-3. Seattle was ripped. Mariner starter Mike Moore, not his best stuff in the first. Sacks jammed 2 out. Ex-Mariner Bruce Bochy hits a soft liner to right. It pushed both Joe Morgan and Dave Kingman home. But the damage is not over. The A's Mike Heath hits a shot down the left field line. Steve Henderson has the glove on it but can't make the grab. 2 more Oakland runs score. It is 4-0, and my friends, put a fork in Mr. Mike Moore because you know he is well done. And Del Crandall says, sorry, big guy. Reliever Dave Geisel comes out of the bullpen. Well, not very good. Billy Allman's run-scoring single makes it 5-0, and Oakland goes on to win 5-3. They are in the bottom of the 3rd in Game 2. It is a 1-all tie. From the unlimited hydroplane racing circuit, qualifying is over for Sunday's Seafair race on Lake Washington. 2 of the favorites will be the Atlas Van Lines, who won last week's Gold Cup in the Tri-Cities, and the Squire Shop, who was 2nd in this year's national point standings.
Good win, true, but we had a lot of problems in the process, and we did damage a lot of equipment over there. So we're really not very deep in equipment right now, and that's always a worry.
What I like is we're going faster and faster. Each race we're going a little faster, and that's a good sign. Yes, we're having a lot of fun, and Squire Union Bay boat is running extremely well, and
the Seahawks hope to run extremely well as well tomorrow night against Buffalo. Seattle will host the Bills in the Kingdome. It will be the Hawks' 2nd exhibition game. Last Saturday, Seattle routed Tampa Bay. And the contest against Buffalo will pit Seattle coach Chuck Knox against his old team for the first time. Knox guided the Bills for 5 years before taking the head post with the Hawks. Once again, Seattle will take a long look at a ton of players. Expect the regulars to only see about a quarter or so of action. Busy weekend. You can watch the Seahawks tomorrow in the Dome, the race, hydroplanes on Sunday, and the Mariners are back in town on Monday. So if you have a 3-day weekend, like sports, head to Seattle.
Okay, in the meantime, more Olympic highlights coming up in a little over an hour and a half.
Yes, at 11. We'll have lots of pictures.
See how the U.S. is doing in volleyball. Alrighty, thank you, Steve. Still to come on News 35, we will see how our community responded to a need today.
It's a place where everything is smooth flowing, delightful. It's the land of the Dairy Queen sundae. Come discover the land where good taste comes through, and all around is light, cool, and creamy smooth. The land of the Dairy Queen sundae.
In the land of Dairy Queen, we treat you right.
Everybody likes a good deal. Dealer. Good deals on new and used cars and trucks. Good deals on service. And right now, Lynch Motors is featuring these specials.
The 1984 Olds Forenza wagon was $11,327, now $98.97. Or an 84 GMC S15 pickup was $82.37, now $72.37.
You can always be sure of a good deal on a guaranteed quality car or truck when you see your good deal dealer. Lynch Motors in the Greenway Auto Plaza.
Nearly 200 chiropractors are at the Thunderbird this weekend for the Washington Chiropractic Society's summer convention. One of the featured seminar presenters is developing instruments that change some traditional ideas of chiropractic. Jeff Wasson explains.
The traditional view of chiropractic involves the use of hands to manipulate the spine or back. But Dr. Sweat of Atlanta, Georgia, is working to change that. The doctor is developing a system of instruments that, when properly aligned, do the spinal adjustment themselves without a twist, snap, or pop. Dr. Sweat shows these x-rays to illustrate the effect his machine can have to straighten the alignment, but admits not all patients are receptive to the new techniques.
When you have treated a patient with your hand adjusting, this particular case with a professor at the University of Georgia, he had bad migraine headaches. We adjusted him, and he went like a year with no headaches. So he comes back, and then I tell this professor, I say, I have something new here I want to adjust you with. And he says, I don't want anything new. The last worked perfect. I want what you gave me. And so there's a little problem in converting patients and changing their thinking.
The chiropractors at this weekend's convention will get a full exposure to Dr. Sweat's instruments as well as other seminars. Jeff Wasson, News 35.
Still with medical news, doctor fees in the state have increased up to 4% since January. The increase is less than in recent years, but it is still ahead of inflation and far ahead of the voluntary freeze medical associations urged on their members. The associations pushed the voluntary freeze while they fought a bill in Congress that mandated a 15-month freeze on fees doctors charge Medicaid patients. That bill passed Congress, was signed by the president, and took effect on July 1st. Men over the age of 40 are the most likely victims to have heart attacks at home. Now, responding to that information, a University of Washington doctor says that it's women over the age of 40 who should be prime candidates to get training in CPR, since they are the ones most likely to witness a cardiac arrest. However, the majority of those who seek CPR training have an average age now of 33. St. Elizabeth's Medical Center sponsored their 12th annual employee and community blood drawing today. The blood drive is in coordination with the American Red Cross and is traditionally the largest single-day drawing in Yakima County. Blood supplies are low right now, as they usually are this time of year, due to summertime accidents and regular donors going on vacation. An increase in the number of open heart surgeries this year has also been related to a blood supply decrease. Each week, approximately 530 blood donations are needed within the 14 counties Yakima's Red Cross services. A new age regulation was applied to today's drive. People over 66 years old no longer have to have a written consent from the doctors to donate blood, and 17-year-olds can donate with the consent of parents. Today's goal was to have 140 people donating blood. However, only 104 people gave, which is 30 less than last year. And if you're accustomed to using Meade Avenue between 3rd Avenue and 1st Street, better plan a detour for Monday. The city street department will be seal coating the street, and it will be closed to all traffic. That's Monday morning from 6 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. And finally, the House of Representatives has approved nearly $8.5 million to build a major visitor center and other tourist facilities at Mount St. Helens. The tourist facility is seen as an economic boon to areas of southwest Washington that were hit hard by the eruption and related problems during the last 4 years. And the only problem I have had in the last 4 days or so, turning to the weather, you keep telling me it's going to cool off, and it is cooling off a little bit. You're doing a pretty good job. Or a cooling trend to continue, or...
Well, it doesn't feel as cool as it has been because the humidity's been high, and it's going to continue to be high, although the temperatures are going to be lower. The weekend is just around the corner, and I'll tell you what to expect right after this.
Make it with fresh strawberries, sliced bananas, and juicy grapes. Make it yellow gelatin, create a sensation.
Aha! It's a sneak attack on my Jell-O gelatin fruit snack. Try the new speed set method. Just add ice cubes in cold water to Jell-O. Add bananas, chills, and it's ready in about half an hour.
Terrific! Make it yellow gelatin, create a sensation. J-E-L-L-O.
More and more people are coming to their Lincoln Mercury dealer for the satisfaction of Mercury Cougar. Cougar has shown one of the biggest year-to-year sales increases of any car built in America. Cougar has gas pressurized shocks, electronic fuel injection, and rack and pinion steering. Cutlass Supreme doesn't, Buick Regal doesn't. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer for the highest quality cars built in America. Now that's satisfaction.
At your Lincoln Mercury dealer, you're gonna feel satisfaction. So good inside. At the side of the gas.
This is the Ryan family. Maeve and Johnny are the mainstays whose traditional American values are constantly put to the test. The Ryans' pride and joy of their children. Frank, the hard-working attorney, Siobhan, the daring policewoman, and Patrick, the dedicated physician. This is the DeBoujac family. Handsome divorced Max expects women to be available to him. Jacqueline, the daughter, is beautiful but like a shark out for the kill. Join ABC's Emmy Award-winning Ryan's Hope as it returns to KAPP TV August 13th at 11:30 a.m. Coming to KAPP TV, it's the Dukes of Hazzard.
House of Texas are upon you.
You dirty old man!
The time has come to say farewell to a man that has touched all of our lives. We're gonna snatch the body that snatched the body.
Hang on. Don't miss the Dukes afternoons this fall on Channel 35.
Talk about carbon copies. The weather this week has been basically the same, and the forecast is looking just about exactly the same. Very beautiful sunset you see behind me, and it's going to be sunny skies all day tomorrow and over the state. Current temperature in Yakima is 78 degrees. The barometer is 29.96 and rising. Humidity is high. It's muggy, 45%, and winds are out of the northwest at 12 miles per hour. Eastern Washington today, the high was 92 down in Walla Walla. That was the high in the state, and it was mostly fair skies over the entire east today. Although in the far east, they did have some early morning unstable conditions that caused some thunder showers to be created very early in the morning, and that could continue late into tonight, but that's only in the far eastern portions of the state. In the west, continued low clouds in the morning plagued all parts of the west, specifically the coast and the Puget Sound regions, but they burned off. And the cool weather did create caused the nice weather they were having there. So it's going to continue to be just about the same with those low clouds continuing and nice temperatures over in the western portions of the state. Satellite map doesn't show much over the state of Washington. Those clouds you see aren't very heavy cloud cover. They're low clouds, as I said, and a few thunder showers you can see over in the far eastern portion of the state. That low over Queen Charlotte's is continuing to pump some southerly flow through our area, and that's going to continue. Very weak flow, though, and it's going to keep humidities high, and it's going to give us a chance of a thunder shower, but a very slight chance. In the western portion of the United States today, L.A. had a very nice 75. They were fair, which meant they had a few clouds, not too many. Hot spot in the nation, 112 degrees in Palm Springs. Low again today, 37 in Truckee, California. In the eastern part of the state, they continue to have some strange weather over there. Not strange for this time of year, but it's not nice weather, to say the least. Parts of Louisiana had 2 to 4 inches of rain today, and that caused some flash flood watches. Pennsylvania also had some flash flood watches, too, with some very heavy thunderstorms. Pierre, South Dakota, spelled Pierre, but pronounced Pierre, had 80-mile-per-hour gusts along with some thunderstorms there, and they're going to continue to see some more thunderstorm activity up in the Midwest tomorrow. Current conditions, or conditions for the weekend, forecast conditions for the mountains if you're going up there. It's going to be fair tomorrow, temperatures in the low 60s, and it's going to be fair over most of the weekend. Winds out of the west at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Freezing level is 12,000 feet, so if you don't want to get too cold, don't go above 12,000 feet. In the western half of the state, it's going to be fair tonight with highs in the 70s, lows in the 50s. Again, low clouds that are going to be burning off by the afternoon. In the eastern portion of the state, fair with some showers. As I told you, they're going to see some more showers tonight. Highs in the 90s or near 90s, lows in the 60s. And for us, we're going to see highs in the 85 to 90 degree range with a 10% chance of precipitation. Again, that chance of thunder showers or showers is going to continue. Winds are going to be variable 5 to 15, and it's looking to be a very nice weekend shaping up for us all.
Nice weather. That humidity going to hang in there, still about 45%.
It's 45%, and that's pretty muggy, I guess, for this time of year. Usually it's around 20%, so it's going to continue. So the temperatures, although they are lower than they have been, it's still going to feel a little bit warmer than usual.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Eric. And coming up tonight at 11, more Olympics. We can see how the volleyball game competition is going.
And they began track today. That'll be exciting.
Some exciting stuff there. We take a quick moment here to say a farewell tonight to Judith Larson. She's pursuing new opportunities on the west side. We wish her well. We'll see you again at 11. Good night.
Good night.